we're ready.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the May 17th, 2022 Rainbow District School Board meeting. This meeting, just a reminder, is being live streamed. Also, that the Rainbow District School Board would like to acknowledge that we are on the traditional and ancestral territory of the Anishinaabeg, including Atikamekw, Anishinaabeg, and Wahnapitae nations. We would like to acknowledge that we are situated within the Robinson-Huron Treaty of 1850 and want to recognize the inherent rights of the Anishinaabeg that maintain these lands from time immemorial. Could we have an attendance director?
I'll begin roll call. Trustee Dabowski. Trustee St. Jean. We'll come back to Trustee St. Jean.
Present.
Oh, thank you. Trustee Gibson.
Present.
Trustee Cosmerly.
Present.
Trustee Morrison.
Present.
Trustee Dewar.
Present.
Trustee Hunda.
Present.
Trustee Stringer.
Present.
Trustee Clement.
Present.
And Student Trustee Yao.
Present.
Thank you, Director. We'll start off with the approval of the agenda. We have a motion that the agenda of the regular board meeting of May 17th, 2022 be approved. I need a mover, please. Dina Morrison, Trustee Dina Morrison. And a seconder, Judy Cosmery, Trustee Judy Cosmery. A poll vote, please.
Trustee Clement.
In favor?
Trustee Dewar.
In favor.
Trustee Gibson.
In favor.
Trustee Hunda.
In favor.
Trustee Cosmerly.
In favor.
Trustee Morrison.
In favor.
Trustee St. Jean.
In favor.
Trustee Stringer.
In favor.
And Student Trustee Yao.
In favor.
Motion's carried.
Thank you, Director. B, preliminary declaration of pecuniary interests. I see none. We have a presentation. Number one, Director Bourget.
Thank you, Chair Clement. Tonight we're excited to share our Rainbow District School Board Awards for 2022. Trustees honoring staff at the annual board award ceremony has become a long-standing tradition for Rainbow District School Board. If we were not in the era of COVID, we'd be gathering together this evening to celebrate, but given that we're unable to do so with the size of our boardroom, we will honor our employees and community partners from a distance via live stream. 2022 award recipients will be recognized in a special booklet will be distributed system-wide by the end of the school year, and we'll also post this tribute on our website. Now, let me begin to introduce our award recipients and our community at large and provide some context on why these awards are so important to us. I think we can all agree that our employees are the board's most important resource for our students. And we have had many employees who have dedicated their careers in the service of students and schools. Let me begin by honoring employees who have 35 years of service and 25 years of service. This year, in 2022, the employees who have the distinction of having served the board for 35 years are, from Confederation Secondary School, Heather McCracken, Administrative Assistant, and from Sudbury Secondary School, Louise Rancourt, also an Administrative Assistant. Also this year, our employees with 25 years of service are Colette Carroll, teacher at Ernie Techhurst Public School, Pamela Potvin, principal, Llewellyn Park Secondary School, Julie Laframboise, educational assistant, Mark Stay Public School, Lynn Lamotte, teacher, R.L. Beatty Public School, Dean McDonald, teacher in the elementary section of Llewellyn Park Secondary School, Mary Pickley, teacher at R.L. Beatty Public School, Irene Musketeer Dewar, teacher at Central Manitoulin Public School, Martin Bunkari, Principal, Confederation Secondary School, and Keith Rogers, Custodian at Lockerbie Composite School. We also have a trustee who has served the board for 25 years. I want to take a moment to acknowledge Trustee Judy Hunda for her tremendous contribution to this board. Trustee Hunda, you have served as Vice Chair and as Chair, and you've made an immense contribution to the board in so many ways. Above all, you've been a champion for public education. Your service to students, staff, and the communities that we serve has never wavered. A quarter of a century is quite a commitment. Please know that your leadership and your passion is very much appreciated. Employees and trustees with 25 and 35 years of service will receive an inscribed certificate. They will also receive either a silver or gold pin to wear with pride. We will now continue with the presentation of board awards. The individuals being recognized this evening have made a significant contribution to public education in Sudbury, Espanola, and Manitoulin in a number of ways. In the school, in the community, in athletics and other co-curricular activities, in special education, in health and safety, facilities, mental health, and well-being, and in education for sustainable development. Tonight, you'll be introduced to individuals and community partners who, in their own special way, have had a powerful and positive impact on students in Rainbow Schools both inside and outside the classroom. The ways in which our award recipients contribute may vary, but they all have one thing in common. They are dedicated employees and dynamic educational partners who go above and beyond the call of duty to reach minds and touch hearts in our schools and the communities that we serve. We'll begin with a presentation of awards for outstanding contribution to co-curricular program. Our award recipients teach values such as fairness, team building, work ethic, discipline, inclusion, perseverance, and respect. Sport has the power to promote values, contributing to the development of responsible citizenship, and so do all of our extracurricular activities. The recipients for the 2022 Award for Outstanding Contribution to the Co-Curricular Program are Daniel Young, Indigenous Support Worker, LaSalle Secondary School. For the past 5 years, Daniel Young has excelled in his role as Indigenous Support Worker at LaSalle Secondary School. His demeanor is warm and inviting. His passion for student success is unwavering. It's common to find students seeking Daniel for conversation, support, and mentorship. He works tirelessly to forge connections between Indigenous and non-Indigenous students, and fortunately for LaSalle Secondary School, Daniel also has a love for coaching basketball. In his first year, he coached the novice boys team. Over time, he was asked to coach the junior boys team, and when the novice team started this year without a coach, Daniel willingly opened a gym for those who had the desire to try out. Under his leadership, his teams have had great success, this year with a spot in the city finals. A wonderful role model, Daniel approaches his commitment to students with dedication and professionalism. Congratulations, Daniel, on your award for outstanding contribution to the co-curricular program. In addition, Mr. Brad Smith, Program Leader of Physical Education, Confederation Secondary School. From the start of his teaching career, Brad Smith has been a tireless advocate for students in athletics and academics. As Program Leader of Physical Education at Confederation Secondary School since 2018, he ensures that students have opportunities to experience healthy, active living. He not only delivers engaging lessons, he also gives generously of his time, energy, and enthusiasm to the board's co-curricular program. With his professionalism, knowledge, and experience, Brad Smith is highly respected within Sudbury District Secondary Schools Athletic Association. He has coached and convened flag football for the past 10 years, nurturing a transition from full contact to 7 versus 7, and helping expand flag football to one of the largest team sports. He also coached or acted as staff liaison for other sports including basketball, soccer, hockey, and curling. A true team player, Brad Smith recognizes the impact of sports on student achievement and well-being. Congratulations, Brad. Recipients for Outstanding Award for Contribution to Co-Curricular Program will receive the following scroll. We continue with the presentation of Community Partnership Awards. Here are some of the qualities that the award represents: sound humanitarian skills, dedicated to a child's overall education, a strong belief in the intrinsic value of volunteer work, and the ability to influence students for the good. The recipients this year are Better Beginnings and Better Futures. Better Beginnings, Better Futures recognizes that nutritious food helps kids learn. Working with volunteers and partners, the Student Nutrition Program gives children and youth access to a nutritious breakfast and snacks to support healthy growth and development. When students start their day well nourished, they are ready to learn, and they have every opportunity to reach their full potential and achieve success. The School Nutrition Program is funded by the Ministry of Children, Community, and Social Services with support from generous donors. Even during the pandemic, Better Beginnings, Better Futures supported families. They delivered bags of groceries from the safety of school parking lots, packaged and delivered meals to schools for their programs, sent grocery gift cards directly to families and through schools, and provided vouchers to purchase produce at local markets. Thank you for being champions for children. Also, Finlandia Village. Finlandia Village has been working in partnership with LaSalle Secondary School for more than a decade. It started with their support of the Memoirs Writing Project. Students interviewed residents to capture their rich life stories in words and photos. The partnership has since evolved to focus on active living for seniors to enhance the quality of their life. The entire LaSalle Secondary School community is committed to promoting health and wellness for all. To date, more than $100,000 has been raised for the Finlandia Sisu Charity Foundation through the annual Sling Choker Sisu Family Walk. Most recently, LaSalle participated in the Around Australia Walking Challenge, a fundraising journey of 14 million steps for the ongoing expansion of the walking trails. Finlandia Village is an important partner in education, and when students are engaged in the community, they learn lessons that last a lifetime. Dr. Robert Silvestri. As a member of Rainbow District School Board Special Education Advisory Committee, Dr. Silvestri is the lead researcher at Northern Ontario Assessment and Resource Centre located at Cambrian College. The centre supports students with learning disabilities transitioning to post-secondary education. The centre offers comprehensive psychoeducational assessments to students and conducts multidisciplinary research related to learning disabilities, ADHD, and mental health. Dr. Silvestri has conducted research on board initiatives, including the Reading Intervention Screeners and interventions such as the LD Pilot Project, in which he collaborated with students, parents, guardians, and educators to measure the effectiveness of student achievement. He also developed resources to support students who have ADHD. This work featured a professional learning component for staff to build system capacity. Dr. Silvestri willingly shares his expertise and research skills to ensure the board implements evidence-based strategies and programs for students with learning disabilities. And this has a direct positive impact on student success. Congratulations and thank you, Dr. Silvestri. Recipients of the Community Partnership Award will receive this suitably inscribed scroll. I am now pleased to continue with the presentation of Go Green Globe Award recipients. The Go Green Globe Award recognizes significant contributions to sustainability. The recipient schools for the 2022 Go Green Globe Awards are Manettville Public School and Lockerbie Composite School. Both schools have achieved platinum in the Eco Schools certification program this year. And we will feature more about their good work in the awards booklet that will be distributed soon. Trustees, you will recall that we made a commitment to have 100% of our schools eco-certified this year. And I'm pleased to inform you that we have achieved that goal. This is very significant. Rainbow District School Board is one of 7 boards in all of Ontario to hold this record. Here's the final tally of all the hard work by students, staff, parents and guardians, and school communities. 6 schools have been awarded bronze, 3 schools silver, 17 schools gold, and 16 schools platinum. 16 schools, including this year's 2022 Go Green Globe Award recipients, have received the highest level of certification in the EcoSchools program. I'd like to thank Superintendent Noble and our Environmental Education Committee for their tireless work and leadership in this endeavor. It would not have happened without their vision and their passion. And I'd like to congratulate all Rainbow schools. You did it, and we could not be prouder. Recipients of the Go Green Globe Award will have the privilege of displaying this trophy at their school. And we continue with the presentation of awards for excellence. Qualities that award for excellent recipients represent include, but are not limited to, enthusiastic, motivational, uplifting, cooperative, positive, reliable, conscientious, dedicated, knowledgeable, progressive, and always caring. Recipients of the 2022 Award for Excellence are Patrick Odette, cleaner, Walden Public School. Mr. Pat, as he is affectionately known at Walden Public School, works tirelessly as a cleaner to get the job done with caution and care. Mr. Pat arrives at work each day with a positive outlook that echoes throughout the halls. He takes pride in ensuring his school is clean, safe, and inviting, and during unforeseen circumstances, Mr. Pat remains focused on the task. He is highly respected and valued by the entire school community and offers helpful advice when needed. An integral part of the Rubbish Rangers school recycling and composting program, Mr. Pat meets often with the lead teacher and instructs and supervises student volunteers. He is an active participant at meetings and a strong proponent of school's environmental initiatives. When called upon to work at another school that's short-staffed, he does so without hesitation. Mr. Patrick Odette is an ideal candidate for an award of excellence. Next, David Digby, Health and Safety Officer, Center for Education. Shortly after joining the board in 2018, David Digby set out to review and revamp administrative procedures related to health and safety of students, staff, and school visitors. When the board and its schools were thrust into this global pandemic, David's wealth of knowledge, organizational skills, attention to detail, and calming presence proved invaluable. As Health and Safety Officer, he worked tirelessly to provide clear direction on everything from the use of musical instruments to the delivery of food services. Anytime anyone has a question about COVID-19, David was always a text or phone call away. He continues to support schools in maintaining safe and healthy learning environments and working environments for all. For going above and beyond to help and lead the board through one of the greatest health and safety challenges of our time, David Digby is most deserving of an award for excellence. Thank you, David, for working together to keep everyone safe. Next, Sonia Howard, custodian, Chelmsford Valley Composite School. Sonia joined the board as a cleaner in 1994. For better part of the past 3 decades, Sonia has a resounding legacy for staff and students at many elementary and secondary schools across the city, including Confederation, Chelmsford, Jean Sauvé, Levac, Lansdowne, Carl A. Nesbitt, Adamsdale, Princess Anne. Currently, Sonia is the proud custodian at Chelmsford Valley District Composite School, where she affectionately regarded as a matriarch. A consummate professional, she takes immense pride in ensuring staff and students have a safe place for teaching and learning. No matter how busy her schedule may be, she's always asking how she can help others. She's highly respected by the entire school community and is a model for hard work, commitment, and a job well done each and every day. Sonia Howard is a very deserving recipient of a Rainbow District School Board Award for Excellence. Congratulations. Next, Mary Jago, Mental Health Lead, Center for Education. As Mental Health Lead since 2017, Mary Jago initiated the creation and implementation of the Rainbow District School Board's first mental health strategic plan. With a focus on evidence-based mental health promotion, prevention, and targeted intervention, the plan established a foundation for a mentally healthy classroom. Schools are now supported by a dynamic team of social workers. Together, they have a positive and powerful impact on student achievement and well-being by increasing awareness, reducing stigma, building capacity, developing resources, delivering programs, accessing services, and above all, being caring adults. The mental health team builds resilience and promotes kindness as they foster safe, accepting, and welcoming school communities. They also provide support during tragic events. The board's focus on mental health is creating learning environments where young people become strong, healthy, and vibrant individuals without discrimination. For her inspired leadership, Mary Jago is most deserving of an award of excellence. Thank you and congratulations, Mary. Allison McNeil, teacher at Siganak Public School. Allison McNeil helps students foster self-esteem by learning their interests and passions. As a special education and music teacher at a Siganak Public School, Allison is truly dedicated to her students. She offers varied opportunities to students beyond the regular school day, leading various clubs including movie making, ukulele, guitar, computer coding, and a makerspace. She also hosts sessions and workshops for students and families after school. Throughout the pandemic, Allison found many ways to instill positivity. She coordinated virtual Remembrance Day ceremonies, Christmas concerts, and even prepared an online escape room for Family Literacy Day. She also plans and MCs the graduations and writes and produces songs and dance routines. During remote learning, Allison continued to shine as a leader, often in costume, creating lighter moments to engage her students. Allison McNeil embodies the spirit of a Siganak Public School, and she's most deserving of an award for excellence. Congratulations, Allison. Next, Brian Manahan, Manager of Applied Behavior Analysis at the Center of Education. Brian Manahan is a board-certified behavior analyst and manager of the Applied Behavior Analysis, otherwise known as ABA. He oversees the ABA program and the Northern Supports Initiative, which are part of special education programs and services. Personalized programming in an alternative setting gives students tools for success in learning and life. Students return to their home school with skills and strategies to be contributing members of society. Knowledgeable, progressive, and caring, Brian offers hope with his unwavering dedication to change outcomes. Over the past 8 years, Brian has recruited and trained a team of educators to provide behavior and social skills support in all Rainbow schools. He's also built system capacity through workshops and professional learning. His expertise has been invaluable to the board's early learning intervention programs, section classes, alternative program at Gene Hansen Public School, and the ASD after-school skill development program. Brian Manahan exemplifies reaching minds and touching hearts. Congratulations and thank you, Brian. Veronica Nielsen, teacher, Queen Elizabeth Public School. Veronica has demonstrated exemplary service in Rainbow schools for 24 years. A welcoming presence at Queen Elizabeth, Veronica keeps morale high by getting to know her students personally and academically. A lifelong learner, Veronica participates in board initiatives and professional development, merging new learning into her practice to best support her students based on their individual needs. She also embraces new technology and uses it as a means to enhance teaching and learning in class. A pillar within the school, Veronica is always willing to share with her learning with colleagues for the betterment of all students. Beyond academics, Veronica believes school activities are vital to the school experience, and she helps organize many events including Halloween, Literacy Numeracy Day, Christmas Bazaar, Adnac ski trips, Mother's Day jewelry fundraisers, and track and field days. For this and much more, Veronica is most deserving of an award for excellence. Congratulations, Veronica. Lisa Polano, facility supervisor at the maintenance shop. Lisa Polano joined the board in 1987 as a cleaner at Coppercliff Public School. Since then, she has worked as cleaner or custodian at Chelmsford Valley, Long Lake, Larchwood, Mark Stay, Sudbury Secondary, and R.H. Murray. Lisa's diligence led her to her current role as facility supervisor in 2007, overseeing a family of schools. Lisa is efficient, effective, competent, honest, dedicated, and reliable. Throughout the pandemic, cleaning staff were called into action very early in the morning to fog schools. If staff were unavailable, Lisa would willingly go to the school and disinfect it herself. When a recent classroom flood occurred, Lisa was on site to help with a cleanup without hesitation. A mentor and leader to her colleagues, she prioritizes the well-being of students and staff. Her knowledge of facilities operations is immeasurable. Congratulations, Lisa, and thank you for your service to Rainbow Schools. Your leadership is greatly appreciated. Roseanne Smagich, Educational Assistant, Confederation Secondary School. The epitome of professionalism and dedication, colleagues describe Roseanne as pure sunshine. As an educational assistant, she balances care, support, and respect with high expectations. Students are pushed beyond their comfort zones, and they learn that hard work and perseverance can lead them to experience success beyond what they believe possible. During remote learning, Roseanne made personal phone calls, scheduled Google Meets, participated in home visits, and encouraged outdoor fitness. She delayed her retirement by a year to ensure her students with exceptionalities had the consistency, stability, and support to achieve success. Of course, she wanted to see her students graduate, one of many who flourished under her gentle guidance. Her kind, empathetic approach, can-do attitude, will be missed by students and staff. One of Confederation School's biggest champions, Roseanne Smagich, leaves a lasting legacy. She models excellence each and every day. Congratulations. Recipients of the Award for Excellence will receive the inscribed school EZ. It gives me great pleasure to introduce the recipients of the Barbara Kanarick Memorial Award. It is a great honor to present this award in memory of Barbara Kanarick, who was a highly respected special education consultant with the board. The award is presented to a deserving educator or member of the support staff who has made a significant humanitarian contribution to the life of a student or group of students. The recipient of the 2022 Barbara Kanarick Memorial Award is Stephen Marco, Special Education Consultant, Center for Education. Stephen Marco has committed himself to students with special education needs, ensuring they have every opportunity possible to pursue their dreams. As a teacher, and now as a special education coordinator, Stephen is the epitome of moral purpose. In Stephen's world, there are no problems, only solutions. He dedicates each day to improving the lives of students with exceptionalities. Even at night and on weekends, he makes himself available to ensure student safety is first and foremost. Stephen has the innate ability to build trust for student success. He recently became the lead for Project Search, a community-based school-to-work transition program for students with disabilities. A supportive and fun team member, Stephen is first to volunteer his services. He even spent time coaching 2 high school wrestling teams. Stephen Marco walks the talk for students with humility, warmth, and compassion. He's most deserving of the Barbara Kanarick Memorial Award. Congratulations, and thank you, Stephen. The recipient will receive this inscribed scroll. The William N. Roman Teacher of the Year Award. And we end this evening with the presentation of the 2022 William N. Roman Teacher of the Year Award. William N. Roman was a highly respected superintendent with the board. In the past, the award was presented by Olga Roman and members of the Roman family with pride. I know they're here this evening with us in spirit, and as I announce our esteemed award recipients who represent the qualities we hold dear in a Teacher of the Year. Qualities such as excellent teaching habits, commitment to professional learning, belief in the self-worth and innate curiosity and learning potential of all students, ability to create a caring, nurturing, learning environment where students can become risk takers, being committed, dedicated, enthusiastic, and innovative. Being a teacher who inspires a love of learning in students of all abilities. The recipients of the 2022 William N. Roman Teacher of the Year Award are Caitlin Chalk, teacher at Redwood Acres Public School, and Crystal Gibbs, teacher at Sudbury Secondary School. Let me share and introduce to you Ms. Caitlin Chalk. Caitlin Chalk is a well-respected and dynamic educator with 25 years of experience. Currently, she teaches at Redwood Acres Public School, where parents and guardians appreciate her and students relish being in her class. She has high yet attainable expectations, and she supports students to help them reach their potential. She affords choice for students to demonstrate their understanding and develops lessons based on their strengths and interests. Caitlin celebrates success and shares achievements with colleagues to promote positivity and create motivation. Caitlin welcomes vulnerable students with empathy and has a keen understanding of how to reach students with special needs. Her students know her as compassionate, caring, sympathetic, enthusiastic, organized, kind, helpful, and fun. A lifelong learner, she is always looking to improve her teaching practice for the betterment of her students. She also coaches school sports. Caitlin Chalk is most deserving of being recognized with the William N. Roman Teacher of the Year Award. Congratulations, Caitlin. And now, our co-award winner, Crystal Gibbs. Sudbury Secondary has earned accolades for recent student success in mathematics. In 2018, the school received the Dr. Bette M. Stevenson Recognition of Achievement Award from the Education Quality and Accountability Office, which assesses learning of curriculum expectations. Crystal Gibbs leads a team of educators who work together to nurture a passion for math. As the program leader of numeracy, she recognizes the insight data provides to determine student needs. Classroom teachers and special education resource personnel collaborate to implement best practices. The strategies have made huge differences, from linear timetabling, wraparound supports, integrated units of study, spiraling the curriculum, pairing students for modeling and mentoring, facilitating transitions with feeder schools, ensuring students have special education resources, to incorporating new ideas in the classroom. Sudbury Secondary focuses on consistency, repetition, and spaced practice to maximize student success in math. A true leader in her field, Crystal Gibbs exemplifies the qualities of the William N. Roman Teacher of the Year Award. Congratulations. And both of our award winners will receive the William N. Roman inscribed award you see on your screen. And this brings our presentation of award recipients to a close. On behalf of Chair Bob Clement and the Board of Trustees, and myself and members of Executive Council, I would like to congratulate all of our award winners. We look forward to celebrating your accomplishments with your family and your school communities when we release the awards tribute in the next few weeks. Until then, I'd like to end with final words for all of your accomplishments, and to all recipients. On behalf of our students, first of all, because we all do this for students, thank you for all you do. We ask that you be very proud of your accomplishments. You deserve the accolades wholeheartedly that you received tonight, and we're all very certainly proud of you. Thank you to our award recipients, and enjoy your evening.
Thank you, Superintendent Director Bourget. Appreciate that. You know, saying thank you to the awards recipients doesn't seem to be enough for their dedicated service, but thank you so much. We go to number 2, Student Senate, Superintendent Noble.
Thank you, Chair Clement. I'm just going to make sure that our 2 senators, our Trustee Michael Yao and Senator Jocelyn Quincy, are ready to go. Thumbs up, guys. All right. So good evening. It's a privilege to share with you the highlights of the 2021-2022 Student Senate Committee this evening. Members of the Student Senate are here tonight to present, and let me introduce them to you. Michael Yao is our student trustee, and one of our 2022-2023 incoming student trustees, Jocelyn Quincy, is here as well. And I turn it over to you, Michael.
Thank you, everyone, for the opportunity to present this evening. As you already know, my name is Michael Yao, and joined with me is incoming student trustee Jocelyn Kinsey. Darcy Trudeau is our other incoming student trustee, and she sends her regrets as she's feeling a little under the weather, so she won't be joining us tonight. As you may already know, our Senate is composed of high school students from all over the Rainbow District School Board. You can see at the top, we have our Executive Council, myself, Jocelyn, Treasurer Ali Constable, Secretary Lisa Ermalov, and Media Design Coordinator Carrie Yang. You can then see we have the other senators Simon Beckner, Caitlin Del Pivo, Sydney McLean, Lavender Narambi, Punya Pandy, Emma Salvati, Miriam Zadiki, Acadia Solomon, Morgan Tremblay, Harrison Wilson, Kaylee Storms, Heavenly Yarkey, Jaden Fox, Amira Ashkagogan, Darcy Trudeau, and Ava Mead. Our Student Senate meets once a month in person if we are allowed. If not, we meet virtually via Google Meet, and we have bi-weekly check-ins to ensure everyone is on the same page and up to date. Every meeting, we discuss something different, whether that be initiatives that senators are planning in their schools, important events coming up, an issue they might need a second opinion on. We always have some sort of initiative going on, whether that be planning for the conference, organizing the donation drives, or setting up social media posts. All of the initiatives we do is for the benefit for schools and students across the Rainbow District School Board, or for even the benefit of our community. We want to ensure that students' voice are being heard and represented. Our senators also want to ensure that students are being informed about upcoming events, important dates, and much more. The Senate builds a sense of community as a very geographically divided school board. Having board-wide initiatives allows students to connect with each other over common topics. Pictured here in our Standout Speak Out Conference t-shirts designed by Carrie Yang are three of our student senators. From left to right, we have Miriam, Lavender, and Acadia.
On May 5th, the Student Senate hosted its first Standout Speak Up conference in 3 years. We had around 90 students attend from Llewellyn, Chelmsford, Manitoulin, LaSalle, Sudbury Sec, Lively, Lockerbie, Espanola, and Confed. We started off the day with an icebreaker where we had groups of students from varying high schools work together to build the tallest tower out of only paper and masking tape. The participation was incredible, and students were able to build some pretty incredible towers. We then had our keynote speaker, who was Sunjay Nath, who shared his insight on leadership. He's a seasoned Hall of Fame speaker who has addressed over 2,000 live audiences, so it's pretty cool that way. Sunjay was both entertaining and educational. He kept the students engaged throughout his entire speech. Students were laughing along, actively participating, and overall the feedback was amazing. In our generation, 1 hour of speaking can be uninteresting for a lot of students. However, at one point I took a look around the room and saw that not a single person was distracted or looking at their phones, teachers and students. It was really amazing to see. So he delivered hilarious stories and lifelong lessons all along the way, teaching students the importance of taking a stand when everyone else is sitting, to take the risks and the opportunities in life that having the right mindset is crucial. So overall, the day went very smoothly. Everything was on time, and each event was just in the right time frame to keep students engaged for the entire duration. I heard lots of ideas spark from student leaders. Actually, specifically when I returned to my school the next day, one of the grade 10 boys who'd attended approached me with like a 4-page document of a school-wide Hoops for Heart campaign that he'd been working on the entire night after the conference. So it was really rewarding to see that hard work pay off, especially to see that the conference not only left students with fun memories, but also inspired them to take action. This is a picture of our winning team for the icebreaker competition. They had the most unusual prototype, challenging more traditional ideas on the physics of using paper and tape to create the tallest structure. It's a lot of fun.
Not to mention that the feedback we received from staff who attended the conference with students was amazing. I just want to express gratitude on behalf of myself and the students who attended the Stand Up Speak Out conference. The Student Senate did a wonderful job with the organization of the event, made even more impressive given the limited time available to switch from an online to live event. The students had nothing but positive things to say during our bus ride back home. Thank you for arranging the bus and the accommodations. I know that the students and myself appreciated the good night's rest before participating. It is always great to get the kids off the island and allow them to interact with their peers from other schools. Thank you for the opportunity. And here's some more feedback from our conference. Thank you for another amazing stand-up speak out. This is one of my favorite field trips for students, and they express the same sentiments to me. Please congratulate your team on a well-run conference and allowing students to interact with peers while learning about leadership and their potential. Have a wonderful rest of the semester, and I look forward to next year. A little bit more about the ending of our conference is we had 2 breakout sessions where students were able to select breakout rooms on the topic of leadership that most interested them. This includes equity and inclusion, reconciliation, business, health, academics, and the environment. The speakers include some of our very own Rainbow District School Board staff, a professional leadership coach, a staff scientist from Science North, and an organization known as Future North, which Senator Carrie Yang is a part of. Furthermore, the Stand Up Speak Out conference for students by students featured its very own student presenter, Sophia Mather, well-known student environmental activist on the world stage, who leadership models for other potential student leaders that everyone can lead and make a difference given a passion and a voice. Overall, the breakout sessions were a huge success, and students were able to learn leadership qualities and ideas to bring them back to their school councils or to our community.
So here are the members of the Student Senate during our Cella activity. So we ended off our conference with a modified version of a game that we did last year virtually, as it was a big success online. So the Student Senate purchased 7 random items from Dollarama, including things like bubbles, butterfly wings, a pool noodle, and much more. We divided the groups into the same groups they'd been in during the icebreaker, and at random selected an item where they had 15 minutes to create a pitch for that item. And the game was a huge success. Students delivered incredible pitches, being both innovative but very entertaining. Everyone was laughing and applauding, and even gave standing ovations. Overall, the conference was incredibly successful, and it was amazing to see so many passionate student leaders all in the same room.
At the end of the conference, we came to the realization that we want more members on our Senate and another student trustee. We will have 2 student trustees for the office term, one being an Indigenous student trustee. It gives the chance to be able to do so much more with another student trustee along your journey. Furthermore, with an Indigenous student trustee, we will be able to incorporate more perspectives into the work being done and also be able to amplify the voices of Indigenous students within our board. I truly believe that this will only bring positive changes.
Showing here is the updated administrative procedure for student trustee, which was forwarded to all trustees as part of the backup package. We have updated this administrative procedure to be in compliance with OREG 7-07, which states that the number of trustees the board shall have is at least 2, but not more than 3.
We also have added another Senate position where each high school will now have 3 senators, one being an Indigenous senator to ensure that we have enough Indigenous student representation to ensure that we can elect an Indigenous student trustee. With another senator, the Student Senate will open the door to greater opportunities to achieve and create amazing initiatives, much like this conference.
And again, here showing is the updated administrative procedure for the Student Senate Committee, which was forwarded to you as well. This particular administrative procedure required updating to support the changes that were made to the administrative procedure student trustee.
To end our presentation, I'd just like to share that near the end of the conference, everyone said that they had an incredible time, and when asked if they're going to apply to the Student Senate, everybody raised their hand. Applications were sent out last week, and we hope to start getting applications sometime this week. I also want to thank everyone on the board on behalf of the Student Senate for the opportunity to create this amazing conference. I would be happy to answer any questions or hear any suggestions that you may have.
Thank you very much, Michael and Jocelyn. That was a great presentation. And I wish I could have been there, but the chair can't make all the activities, I'm afraid. I heard it was a great success. Thank you very much. Does anyone have any questions for Michael or Jocelyn? Judy Cosmely.
Thanks. I just wanted to commend you on an excellent conference. I didn't get to stay for long. I got to attend with Trustee Dewar, and Trustee Hunta, of course, was there. We got to hear the keynote speaker, and I was wondering what all the paper was all over the stage. Now you've explained it. But it seemed like everyone was really engaged. There were excellent questions. You guys did an awesome job. So I just wanted to commend you on a job well done.
Thank you.
Trustee Honda.
Thank you, Chair Kamal. Through you again, I don't have any questions. I was there. I enjoyed every single minute of it. But I just want to take this opportunity in front of the board to tell you how incredibly proud I was of you. I have, of course, been around as you've worked very hard this year getting this all ready. And you, as always, are such an inspiration to me. And I was like a proud mommy. And you guys did wonderful. And I'm just very proud of you. And the presentation tonight was awesome. Good job, guys.
Thank you very much. Thank you again, Michael and Jocelyn. I've heard nothing but good things. Congrats. Sorry, I shut myself off there. The report from in-camera committee for the whole board of the board. I see none. All business. Previous minutes motion that the minutes of the special board meeting held Tuesday, May 3rd, 2022 be approved. I need a seconder for that. Do we have a seconder? Okay, Judy, Trustee Cosmerly. Did I say seconder? Sorry, I need a mover. No wonder nobody moved. Okay, I need a mover first. Okay, Doreen Dewar, Trustee Dewar, and Judy Cosmery for second, and a poll vote. Director,
Trustee Clement,
in favor?
Trustee Dewar,
In favor.
Trustee Gibson,
In favor.
Trustee Hunda,
In favor.
Trustee Cosmerly,
In favor?
Trustee Morrison,
In favor.
Trustee St. Jean,
In favor.
Trustee Stringer,
In favor.
and Student Trustee Yao.
In favor.
Motion's carried.
Thank you, Director. Now we go to tenders, request for proposal. Do we have Superintendent Bazinet for that, or? Yes, we do.
Thank you, Chair Clement. This evening, we have 3 tenders for your consideration. Our first tender is tender 2022-08 for Larchwood Public School roof replacement, site work, and interior renovations. Under the scope of this project, we will be adding a rooftop unit to ventilate the gym, library, office, and a classroom. We will be re-roofing the entire roof as it has passed its life cycle. We will be building a new entrance that is wheelchair accessible, along with a wheelchair accessible washroom and a new storage room for the school. Also, we will be regrading the asphalt parking and play area at the front and back of the school. This tender is being funded through the School Condition Improvement for Capital Allocation. Would you like me to read the motion, Chair Clement?
Yes, please.
That the board award the contract for Larchwood Public School roof replacement, site work, and interior renovations, tender number 2022-08 to Build North Construction for $1,348,745.
Thank you, Superintendent. I need a mover, please. I see Trustee Morrison and a seconder, Trustee Dewar. Poll vote. Director,
Trustee Clement,
in favor?
Trustee Dewar,
In favor.
Trustee Gibson,
In favor.
Trustee Hunda,
In favor.
Trustee Cosmerly,
Abstain?
Trustee Morrison,
In favor?
Trustee St. Jean,
In favor.
Trustee Stringer,
In favor.
Student Trustee Yao.
In favor.
Motion's carried.
Thank you, Director. And B, we have a second motion.
Our second tender is tender 2022-09, Confederation Secondary School Site Work. Under the scope of this tender, we will complete the second phase of the parking lot upgrade. Phase 1 was the actual parking area, which was completed in 2015. In this phase, we will be replacing the remaining asphalt at all entrances and the drive-through around the building, the bus loading zone, and the front parking area. We will regrade the areas so the water can drain properly to a storm sewer. Also, we will replace the concrete sidewalks. This project is also being funded through the School Condition Improvement Capital Allocation. I'll proceed and read the motion. Chair Clement.
Thank you.
That the board award the contract for Confederation Secondary School Site Work Tender Number 2022-09 to Interpaving Limited for $1,120,000.
Thank you, Superintendent. I need a mover, please. Trustee Cosmerly, and a seconder, Trustee Dewar. Poll vote, please, Director.
Chair Clement, I think Trustee Dewar has a comment.
1 second, go ahead, sorry, go ahead.
I just had a quick question. Where is this money coming from? What, under what line does this come out of?
Through you, Chair Clement, the Confederation tender is being funded through the School Condition Improvement Capital Allocation.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other questions? I see none. Poll vote, Director.
Trustee Clement,
In favor?
Trustee Dewar,
In favor?
Trustee Gibson,
In favor.
Trustee Hunda,
In favor.
Trustee Cosmerly,
In favor?
Trustee Morrison,
In favor.
Trustee St. Jean,
In favor.
Trustee Stringer,
In favor.
Student Trustee Yao.
In favor.
Motion's carried.
Thank you, Director. Tender number 3.
Thank you. Our third tender is tender 2022-10, Northeastern Elementary School Parking Lot Renovations. Under the scope of this project, we will be replacing the front stairs and ramp to meet the current code. We are redesigning the entire front parking area, creating a bus loading zone, a separate parking area, and a pickup drop-off area for parents. This will make it easier and safer for students getting to their buses or vehicles. With this new design, there will be new lighting, walkways, drainage, and bicycle racks. We will also be waterproofing the foundation wall at the northwest corner of the school. This project is being funded through school renewal. I'll proceed to the motion. Chair Clement.
Yes, please. Thank you.
That the board award the contract for Northeastern Elementary School parking lot renovations, tender number 2022-10, to Pioneer Construction, Inc. for $1,049,228.
Thank you, Superintendent. We need a mover. Trustee Morrison and seconder, Trustee Dewar. Are there any questions? Trustee Morrison.
Thank you, Chair Kamal. Through you to Superintendent Bazinet. Same question really for all three of these tenders. When is this work occurring, or has it started, or will it be occurring this summer?
Thank you. Through you, Chair Clement. All of the work for these 3 tenders will certainly begin during the summer months, and much of it or some of it will also continue into the early fall.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any more questions? I see none. Poll vote, Director.
Trustee Clement,
In favor?
Trustee Dewar,
In favor.
Trustee Gibson,
In favor.
Trustee Hunda,
In favor?
Trustee Cosmerly,
In favor?
Trustee Morrison,
In favor?
Trustee St. Jean,
In favor.
Trustee Stringer,
In favor.
and Student Trustee Yao.
In favor.
Motion's carried.
Thank you, Director. Okay, we go to number 3, reports and recommendations from board committees. I see none. A, special education plan. Director?
At this time, I'll turn the mic over to Superintendent Watchnuck, who will speak to the board report.
Thank you, Director Bourget. Good evening, trustees. I'm pleased to present to you the special education plan for the 2022-2023 school year. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have at the end of the presentation. A review of special education programs and services is conducted on an annual basis. The SEAC committee, along with principals, special education staff, and parents, were invited to participate in the annual review. This year, we received 177 responses, and this is a 32% decrease in responses received from last school year. This input is reflected in the 2022-2023 special education budget. The special education budget reflects programs and services for 1,231 elementary and 858 secondary exceptional pupils. We currently have 58 students in section programs funded by the ministry, which represents a total of 2,147 students designated with an exceptionality in Rainbow District School Board. The special education budget amendments are reflected in the 2022-2023 special education plan. Special education teams in schools include resource teachers, intensive support program teachers, special education program leaders, Section 23 teachers, and educational assistants. The special education team at the system level consists of 2 elementary consultants, 2 grades 7 to 12 coordinators, and 3 kindergarten to 12 coordinators. There are 12 itinerant teachers who support students in both panels. In addition, there are 5.5 psychology staff, 6 speech and language pathologists, and 6 communication disorder assistants. We have a special needs training program and program officer, 2 board-certified behavior analysts, 1 board-certified assistant behavior analyst, and 8 itinerant ABA, applied behavior analyst, teachers who work closely with our students with autism and with social emotional needs. There are 11 social workers, 1 mental health lead, and 1 system principal who support both our elementary and secondary schools. Please refer to your board report. A total of 206 full-time equivalent special education teachers have been allocated for 2022-2023. This number represents an increase of 32 teachers from the 2020-2021 school year and includes 104 resource teachers, 79 intensive support program teachers, 12 itinerant teachers, and 11 Section 23 teachers. A total of 204 full-time equivalent educational assistants have been allocated for 2022-2023. This includes educational assistants assigned to section classrooms. Due to a continued increase in preschool transition meetings held for students arriving in September who have significant needs and are connected with our community partner agencies, as well as an increased transition from grade 8 to grade 9 in the New Sudbury area, 8 intensive support classrooms have been added. These ISP classroom additions are at Churchill Public School, Princess Anne Public School, Little Current Public School, CVDCS Elementary, Marks Day Public School, the Remote Elementary School, LaSalle Secondary School, and the Remote Secondary School. The following is a list of Section 23 programs offered in partnership with a variety of community organizations. The staff employed in the section programs are, for the most part, funded through the Ministry of Education. At the May 4th meeting, the SEAC committee approved the following recommendation: that the Special Education Plan 2022-2023, as recommended by the Special Education Advisory Committee, SEAC, be approved.
Thank you. We need a mover for that. I see Trustee Cosmerly and a seconder, Trustee Honda. Any questions for Superintendent? I see none. I guess we'll have a poll vote, Director.
Trustee Clement,
In favor?
Trustee Dewar,
In favor?
Trustee Gibson,
In favor.
Trustee Hunda,
In favor.
Trustee Cosmerly,
In favor?
Trustee Morrison,
In favor?
Trustee St. Jean,
In favor.
Trustee Stringer,
In favor.
Student Trustee Yao.
In favor.
Carried.
Thank you, Director. B, Special Education Advisory Committee, Superintendent Wojciak.
Chair Clement, I believe there's a motion there.
There's just a motion, no presentation, okay. We have a motion that, oh, 1 second, yes, please. Go ahead, somebody. Trustee Stringer.
Yes, Chair Clement, if we were to read the motion, then we can perhaps move for discussion. That would be great. Thanks.
Okay. Okay, that the motion that the Special Advisory Committee recommends that Rainbow District School Boards write a letter to the Ministry of Education, Minister of Health, Minister of Children and Community and Social Services, and Premier expressing deep concern regarding changes to the provisions of health support services in school settings as proposed in Policy Program Memorandum 81. A mover, please. Trustee Stringer, a seconder, Trustee Cosmerly. Questions, please. Trustee Cosmerly.
I'll start the conversation off, and I'm going to request that Trustee Stringer and Superintendent Wojciak also speak to this before we have a vote. At our last SEAC meeting, a concern was raised regarding PPM 81, which is Policy Program Memorandum 81, called the Provision of Health Support Services in School Settings. This is a very old policy or an old memorandum, and it's a rule that's been in place since 1984. However, the government is looking to change it. This particular memorandum outlines how health support services, speech and language services, and physiotherapy and occupational therapy will be provided to students in need of such services within Ontario schools, and how it will be shared between three ministries: the Ministry of Health, the Ministry of Child, Community and Social Services, and the Ministry of Education. With the proposed changes, there are major changes that are being requested now by the government in a draft document that are going to significantly impact students and boards in a negative way. So I will turn it over to either Trustee Stringer if you wish to speak to it, and definitely I'd like to hear from Superintendent Wachnick as well before we do a vote.
Thank you, Trustee Cosmerly. Through you, Chair Clement. Just some comments. I have great concerns, and SEAC committee indicated as well. What does that look like for our students who receive speech language now? And we will now be providing JK kindergarten grade 1 speech language and supports for children who have medical or physical motor difficulties with speech. Those things have always been under a medical sort of situation, not education, not schools. I'm concerned about our staff taking on the medical nursing roles in our schools. For example, the proposed changes in draft PPM 81 allow for services such as the injection of medication and manual expression of the bladder and stoma. And those proposed changes add to the responsibilities that already were previously downloaded to school boards, including clean intermittent catheterization and shallow suctioning. The Administration of Health Support Services, I believe, and I think SEAC believes, should be performed by people that are trained and medically in place to do that. I think the idea too in rural and remote areas, behavioral analysis, occupational therapy, physiotherapy, speech language path services providers, we know they're scarce and often unavailable. While that might work in the South, we know how much difficulty we have finding educational assistance for our schools. And now we would be having to find all of these other professionals to be part of our schools. And then when you're looking and reading at the PPM, proposed PPM, it's very vague in the language. Some statements say things like the local partners will work it out. It's funding is unclear. It's a scary process. So I think perhaps Superintendent Washnick could give us some sense of what and how that would impact our board.
Superintendent Washnick.
Through you, Chair Clement. So we, as a SEAC committee, had a discussion in regards to the new provisions that are being proposed for PPM number 81 at the last SEAC meeting we had. I think it's important to note that maybe what I'll do is I'll just give you a little bit of background on the PPM and what it encompasses, and then what perhaps some of the potential changes being entertained are, and then where the ministry is at with this at this specific time. So PPM 81, as Trustee Stringer indicated, is the provision of health support services in school settings. And it encompasses a number of areas. It was originally created in the 80s, and I believe, don't quote me, but I think it's 1984. It hasn't been revised since then. So this is the first revision that's being proposed for this PPM. It is tri-ministerial, as Trustee Stringer indicated, and the three ministries involved are the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Health, and the Ministry of Children, Community, and Social Services. And so these three ministries share in the responsibility for the development of this policy. So some of the categories of this framework include the injection of medication, the manual expression of bladder stoma, catheterization, suctioning, lifting and positioning, feeding, toileting, and assistance with mobility. And then the other piece to the framework deals with the physiotherapy part, the occupational therapy, speech and language, applied behavior analysis services, and other community-based clinical services. And so the Ministry of Education this school year had a couple of sessions with school boards where it was titled that it was input gathering, but it was more informational to this point in time, and so they have come up with a draft. However, there was pushback from Code and a number of other school boards and organizations involved in this, and the other two ministries. And they have not indicated that they are moving forward with a September 2022 implementation as originally planned. And so there's indication that they're looking now towards a September 2023 implementation for the new framework that they're proposing. Where now, moving on to the next part, where we have some concerns, and most school boards do have the same concerns, is around the physiotherapy, occupational therapy, speech and language services part. And so Children's Treatment Center in our community has always held the responsibility for these services for kids in our community. They have always serviced students in our schools whose parents preferred that over going into the home. And so they are the experts, right? And so we have, at times, and for some students, depending on the severity of their needs, we have had our educational assistants trained by the OT or PT from the Children's Treatment Center to conduct regular routine exercises with students who required them. However, it's always been under the supervision of the Children's Treatment Center. And so we're not sure, there's some unknowns there, like what does that look like with a change? We're not quite sure. The occupational therapy is really quite interesting because we haven't really done a lot of that. That's really been the Children's Treatment Center's mandate. But where the biggest change, and I think Trustee Cosmerly and Trustee Stringer alluded to it, would be, in my opinion, for Rainbow, the speech and language pathology piece. And so what I can tell you is that up until now, and as we speak currently, the kids that are junior kindergarten, senior kindergarten grade level, year 1, year 2 kindergarten students, have always been serviced for speech and language needs by the community. And Rainbow District School Board speech and language pathologists have serviced grade 1 and up. And so with the new framework draft, there is a proposal that the school boards take that on. However, there's been no talk to date about an increase of funding for school boards. That's not to say there won't be one, but there hasn't been any talk about it in the information sessions that we've attended to date. So that leaves us with some questions. We have always, school boards have typically been responsible for the language portion of speech and language therapy. And the community has, the community speech and language pathologists have always been responsible for the speech component. for the most part. And so that affects a lot of our students. I already talked to you about the year 1 and year 2 kindergartens. But apart from those students, the students who attend Jean Hansen Public School, many of them require speech and language services. They are, as we speak, and have always been, serviced by the community, the SLPs from the Children's Treatment Center. So we are talking about, a substantial amount of students who require that service over at Jean Hansen. And if our school board was to pick that up through this new framework, that would require, additional, not only additional funding to hire more people to provide the service, but the other problem that we run into is it's not easy to hire these folks. And so many times, year after year, we have postings out for people in psychology and people in speech and language services for our school board, and we're always trying to hire. And we often don't fill these positions because there's simply no one there to take the position. And that's the struggles that we face in the north that may not be necessarily the same struggles that we see down south. And so that is of concern to us. And then the other change for that I would imagine would be quite significant for many school boards is the ABA services. That's one area that we feel really confident in. We have built an amazing team and a fairly large team for our school board size. And we've done particularly really well with the students who require ABA services with the team and the framework that Brian Manahan has developed here with Rainbow. So a little less concerning for us, but probably very concerning for some school boards. Does that clarify things a little bit around the changes with PPM 81?
Trustee Stringer, Trustee Cosmerly. Trustee Cosmerly.
I'd just like to add one other piece that I read in a letter to the Minister of Education from Halton District School Board sent on February 10th. They raised a concern that that implementing this draft or implementing the changes will create an inequity in service for students, because students will be able to take those who are receiving home funding for home services will be able to hire their own or pay for their own services in the classroom, which means that those students who require a service and don't have funding will be at a disadvantage. We're creating two systems and moving down a road, I think, towards privatization in some respects. We're also creating, or the government is looking at creating a new service that is dumping a medical component, a larger medical component on people who are supposed to be involved in education. We're talking about lives of students in some respects. Things like tube feeding, I would worry because I've been in an experience where a family member has had tube feeding. You can hurt someone really badly if you don't know how to insert a tube properly. Catheterization, if you don't know what you're doing, you can hurt someone very badly with that. Injections, like we don't hire nurses. We don't hire health people. So are we talking about hiring educational assistants now who have that kind of training? What does that do to the role of an educational assistant? There's a lot of issues, and even if things are pushed back for a year, the fact that the government is looking at this is scary. So this is why SEAC felt this was a critical issue and it needed board support. That's all from me.
Thank you. I have Carrie St. Jean, Trustee Hannan, and Trustee Stringer. Go ahead, Carrie.
Thank you, Chair Clement. I'm a little hesitant to jump on board with this recommendation due to the fact that I've also listened to a few presentations regarding the update to this PPM, and the interpretation that I had based on the presentation and reading was that they were trying to allow for better collaboration amongst the resources provided through those three ministries. I never heard any indication that education would now be responsible for the delivery of these programs and services and treatment supports. It would still remain in the hands of the professionals and be funded through the appropriate ministries. It would just be to better align and reduce the barriers of access for students who need these supports while they are attending an educational facility. So I have interpreted the information received regarding the update to this PPM very differently from what I'm hearing tonight.
Thank you, Trustee St. Jean. Somebody has their microphone off on also when we're speaking, so we were getting feedback. Trustee Honda, go ahead.
Thank you, Chair Clement. I too have really grave concerns, and I will be happy to support this. I think the timing is optimal right now, since they have set it back a year. I think if we don't speak up now and make our concerns known, we're going to miss the opportunity. I understand what Trustee St. Jean said. I would like to hear some feedback from Superintendent Wachnick, but my concern is that when I see something come forward from SEAC, that tells me that the parents that may be affected are concerned, and that to me is of prime importance. I too am very worried about the risk and the extra being taken on by our staff. And until we're assured funding, I am extremely opposed to this until we get a lot more answers than we're seeing now. Because from what I'm aware, and correct me if I'm wrong, Superintendent Wachnick, we already have what Superintendent St. Jean was saying. We already work cooperatively with those outside community partners that do come in. I mean, we have many students that require this. So I will be happy to support this because I have too many unanswered questions, and it is of grave concern. And it's much easier in some areas. I particularly don't like the point that it looks like it's setting up an inequity. I've been for 25 years very much opposed to that. Public education is supposed to be the public equalizer. Everyone has access to the same services, and not whether you can afford them or not. I'm very, very concerned about that. And I just don't think that we have enough answers. And I think that if we don't all stand up, I know other boards are concerned too, but I think particularly northern boards where we do not have the resources, we don't have the people. I think that Trustee Cosmley made that point. We did, I think, what was it, 2, maybe 3 years that we tried to get, certain professionals, and we just didn't have any bites. That's all fine and dandy where there's an optimum of staff or people that can be hired. We do not have that here in the north, and I think that this could be very, very, very difficult for us. So I would be happy to support this letter, and I thank you for bringing it forward.
Thank you, Trustee Honda. We have a couple more questions before we go to Superintendent Wachnick. We have Trustee Stringer and then Trustee Morrison.
Thank you, Chair Clement. First off, I recall working with PPM 161 back, not in 1984, but the same document that was in place at the time. And there was a very clear framework about who did what and when, so which professionals were involved with the medical pieces and which pieces were school board responsibilities. In 2018, when the present government came into place, they took that proposal, PPM 161, and it became PPM 81. But if you take a look at it online, it basically eliminated that table that outlined who had what responsibility, and they talked in more vague terms about school board responsibilities, but not as much specifics. So my sense is the intent of this is to go back to a framework that'll be very clear for boards. Everything I read in PPM 81 talks about professionals such as a speech path or a nurse instructing the school staff how to do these things. And that was pretty clear. I think another concern is liability. You know, we're starting to train our staff to do things. And not to say that we don't have unique situations in schools that perhaps they are doing some of these things presently. I know that in more of the rural settings, you know, we do have the nurses coming in the afternoon to do the things that are suggested here. The EAs have a lot on their plates right now, and to add that as something else they're supposed to be doing is challenging, I would think. And then you wonder about liability and what does that mean in terms of when things don't go well. I know in the PPM 81, they mentioned in the document that boards should be referring to their legal support to determine, you know, what they might do in situations, emergency situations like that. I think as well, the intent of SEAC was that there were just too many questions with this, that we need a lot more consultation, analysis of the current practices that are happening in boards and discussions and real discussions before we move ahead with PPM 81. So I think that's why everyone, it was unanimous in wanting to support this.
Thank you, Trustee Stringer. Trustee Morrison?
Thank you, Chair Clement. I'll be quick. Bottom line, I will be supporting this motion. I will be supporting our SEAC committee, and I'll be supporting our two trustee representatives on SEAC. I think this is significant. I too have followed this story through other coverage and news stories throughout the province and in other areas. And I too am quite concerned about a whole lot of things. I see this as a movement to some sort of financial savings at some point, or downloading. So I'm quite concerned, and I will be voting in support of this motion. Chair Clement, thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Morrison. I see Trustee Dewar. Your microphone, Trustee.
Sorry, I realized it. Thank you very much. I'm going to be supporting this 100%. I happen to have been fortunate enough to have been at the meeting where this was discussed. And the one thing that I would like us all to remember is that we live north of Barrie. And there are a lot of people in Southern Ontario who plan things for us that don't really know anything about us. We have our difficulties as far as obtaining qualified people. And, you know, to say that we can hire somebody, it's not that easy. And when you consider our nurses, we're short on nursing, we're short on qualified people in a lot of different areas. I would like to not only support this 100%, but I also would like to suggest to you that we include letters, not only to the people that have been listed here. We're looking at an election. I'd like to see those letters go to our local provincial representatives, not just here in Sudbury, but also Manitoulin Island. That is part of the Rainbow Board. And I think we shouldn't hesitate to get a hold of any of the representatives and make them fully aware that this is something that is extremely concerning for us and for our students. So I thank you very much.
Thank you, Trustee Dewar. Superintendent Wozniak?
I just wanted to add, Trustee St. Jean's not wrong in the sense that this, this is a very old framework from the 80s that probably did need revision. And it is a tri-ministerial approach, which is always a good approach to have. So there are some positives in it, absolutely. Where we have the problems with it is it's sometimes in the language, and I'm going to give you an example because we've learned through other things to be cautious of this type of language. And in the draft proposal, for example, under I'll use tube feeding for an example. So tube feeding is quite a medical procedure. And so it will say under the administration category, so basically who's responsible for that, okay, is the health professional or school board personnel as delegated by health professional. So that language suggests that the medical professional, the health professional, will be teaching somebody who works for the school board how to do that. And we do some of that already, especially at Jean Hansen. We do, not particularly tube feeding necessarily, but we have a lot of medical needs that our staff are responsible for ensuring with our students, and they are trained. But a lot of these are also medical needs that students may have in other schools within Rainbow. And these may be medical needs that are simply that, right? And so what does it look like when the student's at Ernie Chekris, for example, and has a significant medical need that needs to be, that needs attention 3 or 4 times a day? We don't have the staff at some of our schools. We have staff at other schools because of the makeup of the student body, but not all of our schools have educational assistants, for example, and that's just one example. So when we read the language health professional or school board personnel as delegated by health professional, that raises some concern because I'm not quite sure what that looks like. Well, I kind of have an idea, but it's concerning. And then the other piece that I just want to reiterate is the difficulty that we do have in the North in hiring these people. And somebody mentioned it already tonight. I think it was Trustee Dewar. There's a nurse shortage. So when we think of the medical procedures that some of our students require, and if indeed school boards are going to be responsible in a partnership with the 3 ministries, we have to make sure that those people are available to come into our schools. We have to make sure that those people are available for us to hire. We don't have occupational therapists. We don't have physiotherapists. We have a team of SLPs and psychologists, but we have a very hard time replacing those positions when people leave. And we have, as we speak, some that are not filled. And ever since I've been in this role, there has been vacancies. And so I worry about the people not being there to hire in order to provide these services, and that doesn't take away our responsibility for providing the service. It's still going to be there, so we're just going to need to figure it out. And then along with those changes, especially with the SLPs and the, especially with the speech and language pathologists, when the ministries are presenting this, the Ministry of Education presented this, and when they talk about this being input, a process for input and consultation, there's not been any talk of funding. And when it's mentioned, there's no clear answer. So we don't want to be in a position where we have a responsibility in picking up services that we've not ever been responsible for and not receive any funding in order to be able to do that for our kids. So although, you know, it's not necessarily a bad thing, there's just too many unknowns. And I think that there was a bit of a panic for sure, not to say that there's not concerns still, but there was a bit of a panic when there was a media release that said that the ministries were looking for a September 2022 implementation. And school boards were kind of at a loss as to where we were at because there were so many unknowns. So I hope that clarifies a little bit.
Thank you, Superintendent Wozniak. We have a couple more questions. Trustee Gibson and then Trustee Morrison again. Trustee Gibson, go ahead.
Sorry, I was having a little bit of trouble with my mic there. Thank you, Chair Clement, through you to Superintendent Wachuk. So I think what I heard from Trustee Stringer and yourself is that perhaps what the SEAC committee had intended was to request further consultation, whether or not any changes go ahead. Is that something perhaps we could add to the motion, that we're looking at requesting further engagement, at the very least that extends the time period, and then hopefully we can offer that sort of feedback about the funding and the deep concerns that we have. So I would be looking to ask for further consultation. And then secondly, just picking up on something that Trustee Dewar said, since the writ has been dropped and our former members for Parliament, provincial Parliament are candidates, would we not have to send the letter to all the candidates? So I just wanted to clarify on that piece as well, because they're not currently sitting MPPs.
Thank you, Trustee Gibson. Trustee Morrison.
Thank you, Chair Clement. I have one more brief concern. I actually agree that we're trying to influence it before they implement this. So I do think as we're trying to influence, we should be writing right now with all our concerns. And I've learned a lot just from listening to this conversation. So thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Judy, and thank you, Margaret. Thank you, all the trustees who've made a comment. My other operational concern, that I think should be a significant concern, is this is a collective bargaining issue at the central table, not at local tables, central table. And all I will say is good luck with this one. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Morrison. Trustee Stringer.
Through you, Chair Clement, just to Trustee Gibson. At our SEAC meeting, there was discussion about the fact that consultation was needed desperately. We discussed the things that might be in a letter, and we ended up saying that we felt the people that would understand, as in Superintendent Wozniak in particular, would assist in helping the letter be written, indicating in the content of it that, you know, we were interested in more consultation of and analysis of the data. So they felt that that was sort of part and parcel of what would be in the letter.
Thank you, Trustee Stringer. Are you okay with that, Trustee Gibson?
Yes, thank you for responding, Trustee Stringer. Appreciate that.
Okay. Any more questions on this topic? And and it's a hot button topic.
I see Trustee St. Jean's hand up, but am I the only one?
Okay, yeah, Trustee St. Jean, you have your hand up?
Yes, thank you, Chair Clement. Again, I appreciate the comments and the questions and the recommendations. Perhaps, and just the further explanation provided by Trustee Stringer, I'm a little unsure about what the content of this letter should include. So request for consultative measures to be taken to seek further clarification. Are we also listing out specific questions that we would appreciate clarification on? What exactly is this letter going to contain? That would really help influence how I plan on voting for this motion.
Thank you, Trustee St. Jean. Who would like to answer that? Trustee Stringer?
Both Trustee Cosmerly and myself were present at the meeting, and Trustee Doer as well. I think there was a need for, they felt there was a need for more precise information for boards to understand what this would look like, for more discussion where boards would give input, for an opportunity to express concerns of the areas that for each particular board would cause concerns. Trustee Cosmerly, would you like to add anything to that?
Actually, I think you're doing quite well, because I think one of the pieces was definitely about expressing our concerns about the impact that it would have on us as a Northern board and as a board period, and the fact that there was very little consultation and opening it up for additional consultation. From what I remember, that's what we discussed.
Thank you all. Trustee St. Jean, is that okay with you?
Does help a bit, yes. I'm having a hard time digesting the fear of breaching scopes of practice, especially when it comes to the healthcare supports and the rehabilitation requirements for students with exceptionalities. Again, that was never something that I received as an impact in the reflections on this policy update that I've noted to date.
Okay, thank you very much. So if that's everything, I think we've talked a lot on this topic. We'll go ahead, Director Bourget, with a poll vote on this motion.
Trustee Clement?
In favor.
Trustee Doer?
In favor.
Trustee Gibson?
In favor.
Trustee Hunda?
In favor.
Trustee Cosmerly?
In favor.
Trustee Morrison?
In favor.
Trustee St. Jean?
In favor.
Trustee Stringer?
In favor.
Student Trustee Yao?
In favor.
Motion's carried.
Thank you, Director. Thank you all. We're going to new business. Number 1, Municipal Election Compliance Audit Committee. Do we have someone to speak on that, or we just go to the motion?
Chair Clement, it's Dennis Bazinet.
Yes.
Within the agenda package, there is a bylaw that accompanies this motion. It is in your package. It is bylaw 2022-02. And this item relates to the municipal and trustee elections, which will be occurring in the fall. And part of the requirements is for the school board or school boards to have the compliance audit committees. And once again, through the work of Peter Duncan, who is our special projects administrator and taking the lead on the election portfolio, we are able to partner with the 3 municipalities and the towns. So we will be using the audit committees of the Greater City of Sudbury, the audit committee of the town of Espanola, and the audit committee of the town of Northeastern Manitoulin and the Islands. And that is what the bylaw refers to. and therefore there is the motion, and if I may, I will read the motion for you, Chair Clement.
Go ahead.
Is that the Municipal Election Compliance Audit Committee Bylaw 2022-02, as attached, be deemed to have been read 3 times and approved.
Thank you. For that, I need a mover. Trustee Morrison. A seconder, Trustee Honda. Any questions? Trustee Cosmely.
Just a quick one through you to Superintendent Bazinet. Is it not the city of Greater Sudbury, not the greater city of Sudbury? I thought we were the city of Greater Sudbury.
That is the case, we'll make the amendment.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Poll vote, Director.
Trustee Clement,
In favor.
Trustee Dewar,
In favor.
Trustee Gibson,
In favor.
Trustee Hunda,
In favor.
Trustee Cosmely,
In favor?
Trustee Morrison,
In favor?
Trustee St. Jean,
In favor.
Trustee Stringer,
In favor.
and Student Trustee Yao.
In favor.
Motion's carried.
Thank you, Director. And we go right to number 2, Ontario Student Trustees Association Annual General Meeting. We have a motion that the board approve the attendance of student trustees Yao and the incoming student trustees Jocelyn Coetzee and Darcy Trudeau at the 2022 OSSTA Annual General Meeting, May 26th to the 29th in 2022 in Toronto. A mover, please. Trustee Honda, and a seconder, Trustee Dewar. Any questions? I see none. A poll vote, Director.
Trustee Clement,
In favor.
Trustee Dewar,
In favor.
Trustee Gibson,
In favor.
Trustee Hunda,
In favor.
Trustee Cosmely,
In favor?
Trustee Morrison,
In favor?
Trustee St. Jean,
In favor.
Trustee Stringer,
In favor.
Student Trustee Yao.
In favor.
Motion's carried.
Thank you, Director. We go to request for a leave of absence, that Linda DeBosque be granted a leave of absence from the May 17th, 22 board meeting. I need a mover. Trustee Stringer, and a seconder, Trustee Cosmerly. Any questions? I see none. Poll vote, Director.
Trustee Clement,
In favor?
Trustee Dewar,
In favor.
Trustee Gibson,
In favor.
Trustee Hunda,
In favor.
Trustee Cosmely,
In favor?
Trustee Morrison,
In favor?
Trustee St. Jean,
In favor.
Trustee Stringer,
In favor.
and Student Trustee Yao.
In favor.
Motion's carried.
Thank you, Director. Now we go right directly to Director's remarks. Any remarks, Director?
I have a few short remarks. Thank you, Chair Clement. First of all, I'd like to congratulate our Student Senate. I did have the opportunity to briefly attend for a short period of time to see a very well-run and exciting conference. The students were engaged and it was well organized, and I just think we have to congratulate our amazing student leaders on all their hard work for another successful year. And also thank Trustee Hunda, all the trustees involved, and Superintendent Noble for their mentorship and ongoing guidance. So congratulations to one and all for a wonderful event. Also wanted to share a few updates on some of the work that's being done. We are continuing to work with our new student information system, Aspen, and we are working on piloting a parent portal at one of our high schools. That work should commence in June with the support of our Information Services Department. And that pilot will be evaluated for possible expansion and implementation in schools in the fall. as part of our efforts to improve communication and access to information for parents and guardians. In addition, we're also working with information services and our data team on acquiring a program called Compass for Success, with the intended outcome of improving our capability to retrieve data and collect data for the purpose of improved student achievement. And that's something we're also working on. Very dedication is there to see this through so that we could possibly have that ready for the fall. From the health and safety world, just a piece of information, 171 additional portable HEPA units have been ordered and are coming in for a total of 1,591 that will be present in all teaching areas. So this is ongoing work in health and safety, and we want to thank our facility staff and Superintendent Fisher and certainly David Digby for their hard work in all areas of the pandemic, and certainly in the health and safety aspects of improving air quality. A little reminder to trustees, our retirement dinner is May 31st. Certainly want to express our gratitude to Nicole Charette and Jennifer Bata for the tremendous amount of work that is being done. I think at this point we have 60 confirmed retirees attending and over 200 guests and calls going out to remind others, just to make sure that nobody who would like to be there misses out on this opportunity. After several years of absence, we're happy to see the retirement dinner back, and we certainly respect people's personal choice of whether they feel it's appropriate to attend or not. But for those who do attend, it will be a wonderful night, and we look forward to seeing people there. Also wanted to add that today is the very first day of employment for our new mental health lead, Sarah Jokinen. She has been with the board for several years, but as we recognized Mary Jago with Award of Excellence, her last day was yesterday, and we wish Sarah all the best in moving forward. We know she'll do excellent work, as she has always done in Rainbow Schools, and we're really looking forward to working with her in her new capacity. One other piece of information, just a few, administrative transfers will be shared at the June 7th board meeting.
Okay.
In addition, graduations are just around the corner. We will always encourage our participants in graduations to do the screening each day, to promote their choice of whether or not they'd like to wear a mask, provide hand sanitizer, and put additional HEPA units into common areas such as gymnasiums for graduation ceremonies.
Good go, Bruce.
Thank you. Kindergarten camp registrations, we already have over 210, so that's very encouraging. We thank Superintendent Fisher and her team for all that hard work. I'd also like to congratulate our new incoming student trustees and thank Michael Yao. It's not the end of the year yet, but he's worked very hard, and that work was evident in the Student Senate Conference. And also add my appreciation to Superintendent Fisher and System Principals Heather Gaffney, Dan Kozier, and Pablo Gilifao for their work in acquiring tutors. As you know, the ministry provided some money for tutoring, and to date, thanks to their collective hard work, we have 424 tutors working in the elementary panel and 99 tutors working in the secondary panel. And thanks to their dedication and diligence, that number continues to grow. To close, I'd just like to thank everyone for their dedication, their hard work and optimism, and wish everyone a safe and very enjoyable May long weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, Director. Number 5, OPSPA Director, any comments?
Just a couple. Kathy Abraham has been acclaimed as the OPSPA president for a 2-year term, so congratulations to her. 4 trustees are in the running for the first vice president position and 5 for the second vice president position for OPSPA, including 1 northern trustee. In terms of the North region, George Saranen has been acclaimed as the regional chair and Catherine Pierres as the vice chair. And positions are still open on the OPSPA executive for alternates for the policy development work group and the education program work group if anyone is interested. Reminder that the AGM is June the 9th to June the 11th in Ottawa. That's it.
Thank you, Trustee Cosmoline. Student trustee Yao.
Not too many words to say. I already did the whole presentation, so I kind of got my spiel in. But I'm super excited to have incoming student trustees, Jocelyn and Darcy. They're incredibly hardworking. I know Jocelyn put in many, many hours to the conference, and same with Darcy. It's been really incredible. So I know they're going to do an awesome, awesome job next year, and I'm really excited to take them with me to AGM in Toronto, where they get to really get the full experience of being a student trustee, being around other student trustees. I know we're all really, really going to enjoy it. So again, thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Trustee Yao. I'm sure they're going to enjoy it. Trustees' remarks. Anybody? Trustee Morrison, sorry.
Thank you, Chair Clement. Just very briefly, since we didn't get the opportunity to personally go around and shake all the hands of the award winners and make personal comments about some of the differences we may know that they have done in specific cases, I just wanted to make a general comment to thank you and a note of appreciation to all of our award winners. Tonight, there's a bit of fanfare and formality to it, but really we all know that many of these people have been making a big difference for our schools, our staff, and our students for years. Much of that time is out of the limelight with no fanfare, and I just want to thank them for their continued contribution to Rainbow Schools and making a difference one student at a time. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Morrison. I think we had Trustee Cosmley and Trustee Honda.
Just quickly, I just wanted to say I got to spend time at Redwood Acres Public School last week, got to read to the grade ones, and just wanted to say how wonderful it is that as trustees, we're starting to be able to get to do what our job is, and that's visiting schools and seeing all the wonderful things that are going on in our schools. So I just wanted to give a thanks to the principal and vice principal at Redwood, and hope we all get a chance to visit our schools sometime soon.
Thank you, Trustee Cosmley. Trustee Honda.
Thank you, Chair Clement. Just really, really quickly, I basically want to echo that. I want to start with just welcome spring. It's been a long 2 years. It's been a really long winter. And I'm hoping that all my fellow trustees feel as rejuvenated as I do now that the nicer weather's here. And that as we navigate in our own comfort zone, getting the opportunity to go out with our schools, I want to say thank you. First and foremost, to all our staff and all they do. The reading activities that went on during Education Week were phenomenal. And I know right now the big thing is track and field. And I had the opportunity yesterday with my little grandbaby and my daughter to attend Princess Anne's track meet out at Laurentian. And it was just so exciting. I honestly feel 10 years younger. I swear, it's been a long time. The kids were so excited. They worked so hard, and the staff that works hard to put that together. And I was very appreciative of the safety measures that were put in place to keep people separated and to still keep in mind that we are living with this virus, but life goes on. And just to see the excitement with the kids after 2 years of not being able to run that race or whatever, it was just so uplifting. And if anybody gets a chance to go, there's going to be, I'm sure there's still some going on. Each school has their day booked out there until these cities, which I am aware, but I can't think of it right now. And then we have our own special meet that comes up that is absolutely amazing. I would encourage everyone to attend that if you get the chance to and you're comfortable with it. But I just want to say that we sometimes forget that the students have been through so much. We all have, and we all have felt it, but they have been just so amazing on how their resilience, and yet when they get the opportunities like they had, it's just, you can just see it in their faces. It's amazing. And this old lady even took the stroller and ran not a lap, but a half a lap, just for fun to see if I could do it. And I tell you, it's been a long time since I even wanted to do that. So I hope everyone, I want to thank staff, and I hope if anyone gets the opportunity, is comfortable, go out, because it really does remind us why we choose to do this job. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Honda. Anybody else? I see none. Go right directly to the chair's comments. Right off the bat, though, I'd like to, on behalf of the board, I'd like to extend our sincere congratulations to all the recipients of the 2022 Board Awards. Your work is exemplary and most appreciated. You are the hearts of our schools that keep it beating. So thank you so much. Kindergarten orientation continues as Rainbow Elementary Schools host in-person sessions for children starting school this fall, and their parents and guardians. A list of dates and times available on the board website. Always go to the board website. There's lots on there. To Schulich Leonard Tyler Smith, a grade 12 student of the International Bachelorette IB program at Llewellyn Park Secondary School, has earned a $100,000 Schulich Leader Scholarship to study engineering at McMaster University. Outstanding. That's my son's old alma mater. And he sure didn't have $100,000 to go there, I'll tell you. Free to Be Me, Rainbow District School Board will host a 2-day symposium aimed at creating and enhancing school-based supports for students who are lesbians, gay, transgendered, bisexual, questioning, two-spirited, as well as students with friends and family members in these communities. Since its inception in 2009, Embrace Diversity, Free to Be Me has expanded to include poverty, race, culture, and disabilities. The conference will take place at Cambrian College on Wednesday, May the 8th, tomorrow, for grades 9 to 12, and Thursday, May 9th, for grades 7 to 8, and I'm going to try and make them both. Now let's take a look at a few of the our vision, mission, values, and priorities as coming to life in Rainbow Schools. Kindergarten students from Cyril Varney Public Schools use building blocks to learn about famous buildings. Families joined students at Princess Anne Public School for some math game fun. C.R. Judd Public School students had an amazing day of learning the West Bank First Nation Educational Center. Members of the Onaping Falls Royal Canadian Legion visited Levac Public School to honor the winners of the Legion's poster and literacy contest. Congratulations to all. Students from Adamsdale Public School enjoyed an outdoor reading with their families during an Outback book nick. Monetteville Public School students from grade 4 to 8 spent the day playing cooperative games at the LaSalle Dome. Students in grade 5 and 6 at CVDCS participated in a 2-day coding workshop and met virtually with Google software developers. They practiced using code to create their own animated music and sound designs. The Manitoulin Secondary School Mustangs garnered top honors in tennis during the North Shore Secondary Sports Association competition, placing first in every category. Congratulations. Sudbury Secondary School dance students participated in the View Dance Challenge in North Bay and placed high gold, and in all 5 pieces, including student choreography. Again, congratulations. We have important dates here. Just a friendly reminder that schools are closed for Victoria Day, May 23rd. The Strategic Planning Committee, June 7th, will be a special board meeting. Schools will be closed to students for PD Day on June 13th, and the regular board meeting will take place on June the 8th. Today is International Homophobic Day around the world, and my quote goes to that today is, it's a very, very old quote. Homosexuality is regarded as a shameful by barbarians and by those who live under despotic governments, just as philosophy is regarded as shameful by them. Because it is apparently not in the interest of such rulers to have great ideas engendered in their subjects, or powerful friends, or passionate love, all of which homosexuality is particularly apt to produce that. And that goes all the way back to the 5th century, and that was Plato. And it's so sad to see that so much of that's still going on today. We still have lots of work to do. Thank you, everybody. I hope you have a great long weekend. You know, hopefully we have some sunshine. It's not looking good, but you never know. So for that, we'd like to...
Excuse me, Chair Clement. Excuse me, Chair Clement. Can I ask, what did you say about the board meeting?
Oh, it's a special board meeting, the 7th.
The 7th of
June.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Information and proposals. You have their reports from our officials and staff. You'll have that on your websites too. Non-staff communications, elementary and secondary graduation dates are all posted. And don't forget to get a hold of Cindy. She's put out a letter if you're going to attend any of these graduations. Future meetings, they're all there. First Nations, Special Education, Student Senate, and of course the board meeting for June 7th is a special board meeting. And then the board meeting June 28th. So we need a mover for the motion that we now adjourn. I need a mover.
Excuse me, I'm going to ask another question before we close, please. I'm very sorry, I'm rather confused.
Go ahead.
June the 28th, we have 7 different graduations on that night. So I wondered if we could reconsider that date, if the chair and if the executive council would reconsider that date.
I think you're right, because I'm also going to someplace that day. So we'll talk with the director and council and see where we can maybe place the meeting.
My sincere apologies, Chair Clement. Sorry about that.
No, that's fine. I'm glad you brought that up. Okay, now we need a mover. Trustee Morrison, and a seconder, Trustee Honda. Thank you all for coming and have a great weekend. See you next time.